Hey, let's double check that everything is going fine. Let me fix my mic real quick. All right. Let's make sure that the stream is going. All right. I think everything is good to go. All right. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. How you doing? How are you feeling this morning? We had some news today in the inflation rate, and news came out neutral, in my opinion. Let's open up these charts, see what's going on. Mic got disconnected there. Hey Daniel, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you let me know if you hear me correctly? I think my mic got disconnected for a sec. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me write that in the comments. All right. He said perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, we're going to see what we can get into today. We're going to look at the markets. By the way, today I'll have a webinar going over things you should consider when the markets are volatile like they are. So we're going to give 10 tips for traders, to take into account when markets are volatile. And one of them, I could talk about a little bit right now. One of them is to reduce your size. So trade smaller because the ranges expand. And we'll probably look at that in a little bit. But because ranges expand, you want to trade smaller. Now, trading smaller means many things. You can reduce your size, your actual size. So I suggest you cut your size, by 25% or maybe 50%. So maybe trade half what you usually trade. But you could also switch instruments. So, for example, the other day on Monday, you guys realized I traded the the MES instead of the MNQ, and the MNQ is usually, or the NQ is what I trade, because there was less risk involved, right? So, one thing to consider when markets get volatile is to reduce your size. Just keep it under control. Keep your risk under control. Stewards is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. How is it in Spain right now? Is it still cold or is it getting warmer? Because here in the US, I'm near the south, and things are getting much warmer fast. All right, we had the news come out. We had a little spike. We could take a look really quick at the news. We have the tab there. So, core inflation rate forecast was 2.5. It came in at 2.5. The inflation rate year over year for February forecast 2.4, came in at 2.4. Core inflation 0.2%, same as predicted. So CPI, little change there, but for the most part, everything came in neutral. All right, we got We got what's the name there? VO1DK1G. Interesting name. You got two eyes there. Hello, hello, and welcome, 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 welcome. We're gonna have Steve join us in a little bit, talk about these markets, see what's going on. We're looking at a good recovery on the MNQs right now. So let's see. So I don't know if you saw the trade we took yesterday, but yesterday we was here. I think I could turn on my executions. Let me turn on my executions, show the trade. So we took an entry here. Well, first of all, we took our first trade pre-market, bought here, sold here for a quick 25 points. I didn't want to hold it through the open. And then after the open, we took one attempt here for, an opening range breakout. That didn't work. And then we took another, after this pullback, we took another entry here because this was the area of interest for me. And as we were tapping into these new highs, and as we were live with Airplane Jane, she was showing us pivot points, and we were getting into this 25.55 pivot point. She suggested I trim my size, but I was only trading one contract, so I decided, okay, since we were here, we were at a previous high, to get out for a 2-to-1, but my actual target was higher. It was there. So lesson learned. Sometimes you have to listen, sometimes you have to stick to your guns. But still, it was a good trade. We recovered the loss and made an additional profit. So that is always a good one. Let us know where you're trading from. I know we have people from Spain, people from Europe. Um, Let us know where you're trading from. I'm here in the US, but we'll see. All right, let's look at current markets. Enough about yesterday. About 23 minutes till the open. So we will see what happens. Plan is same as yesterday. We'll see if we can hold this level here for a possible long. No bias today. We'll see what happens. If that doesn't play out, well, if that doesn't play out, I have an area of interest right here. I really want to see what happens in that area because based on volume profile, let me just yeah, let me just hide these studies here. Let's hide the studies so it's a little bit clearer. All right. Storage says good session yesterday with Jane and the Camarilla and pivot points. Yes, indeed. That was very interesting. I think I actually have a little course on that on pivot points. It should be on our YouTube. Let me do a quick check. If it's anyways, I'll check in a few. But if it's not there, there's a session there where I talk about pivot points and how you can use them, etc. It's not something I use all the time, but it was a good reminder from Jane. It's interesting she uses the Camarilla. Oh, nice. Now you can see the pop up, so that's great. I enabled these pop ups because you couldn't see them before. But if you want to use the pivot points, you can go search indicators right there. More indicators, you just type pivot points, click there. It's going to give you the tool. You go into the settings, you can change the colors and then how it calculates the levels. So basically, there are different mathematical formulas of calculating them. And then, yeah, we'll see. Um, yeah, and she prefers to use the Camarilla method. So I'm going to turn these off for now. Interesting reaction there, though. It tapped into that and rejected, and it held into that pivot point. So we will see what happens. Let's turn back our studies, and we have our point of control here. I have my level down there because low volume node here matches with the low volume node here from yesterday. I think this is a pretty interesting zone. 25,000 is right there and we're right under it. So, it's kind of a discounted price here. So we'll see what happens. We'll be patient and hopefully we print another green day. So Daniel saying, I hold back until after CPI. Done that mistake too many times. So after 9:30, I will take a look. All right. And I assume you'll be trading the Dow again today. So we'll see what happens with the Dow. Let's take a quick look at the Dow for Daniel. Okay. Interesting look there. Let's switch to a daily chart. Start a top to bottom analysis. All right, we had a neutral day yesterday on the Dow, even though we closed slightly green, but this is an interesting close. Today we're pointing down. Ha! You're saying you you betrayed the DAX. Okay, YM DAX and GC. Nice, 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 nice. It's nice to see everybody is trading different instruments. Okay, so on the daily, open here. We're moving lower. Let's move down to a hourly chart. Let's get our volume profiles ready to go. All right, we're seeing areas of interest here. And then we will put our point of controls here. So we got our red point of control right there. We got another one up there. Okay. This to me, and that's why on the Nasdaq, I'll go back to that. The fact that there was practically no volume here, and we blasted through there. I'm interested to see when we get to that area, to that half point of this candle, what happens. So we'll see what happens there. We have another high volume node all the way down there. If I'm not mistaken, what's the range on the YM? 300, 400 points. Whoa, interesting. Maybe I should go to the MYM, the micros. All right. Just placing my levels real quick. Let's close that volume profile. So we'll see. We'll see how the YM reacts to this level. Index dump, like Jane, one of them is lying. Well, we'll see who's lying. We have different indexes dumping. We'll take a look at gold and oil in a few. Let me drop down to a lower time frame. Let's see if we could look at a trendy trend. Let me put my lines here just so I could see it clearer. The reason I say I use the lines again is because to me, it gives me a clearer view of the possible patterns and the possible trend. So we'll see. Let's change that to a dotted. All right, so that is what this looks like to me. Let's go back to our candles. So to me, this is a trend. This is, I would consider the mid-range of the trend. The wider trend would be, somewhere around here and somewhere around here. but we'll just use this as a reference. Everything I'm tracing here, guys, are reference points. So we'll see. Okay, 15 minutes to the open. This is what the Dow looks like. So I don't know. We'll see. Can we reverse, or are we? Oh, I gotta delete this. Let's go. Can we reverse, or will we instead, reject? So we had one sell off here, another sell off here. So previous high, second high, another wick here. So will we reverse down? I see some volume coming in. Let's go down even lower. So we got some volume coming in here. We had some volume here. So volume is decreasing. We'll see what happens after the open. On news days like this, it's a good idea to be patient. Well, it's always a good idea to be patient. You don't want to be too patient, but you want to wait and see what happens. Let the algos do their thing for the first, I don't know, 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes, and then step in if it makes sense. All right, so we checked the Dow. We have our setups ready for the MNQs. We'll see what happens there. And let's check the S&Ps. All right, I didn't have my levels ready yet here, so we're going to do the same thing real quick. Point of control is over here. Yesterday's point of control is over here. Low volume node down there. It's interesting how this area is, you know, being bought. So we got one, two, this could be 3, 4, 5, 6 times it was bought there. So this is an interesting area, something to keep into account. And it lines up, at least on the ES, it lines up with this low volume node right here in the middle. So this to me is showing that the ES has been slightly more bearish than the NQ, but we're still holding up pretty good. Let's zoom back out and look. I want to see what this looks like on the daily. Yeah, some rejection here. So we'll see what happens. Can we reverse, or are we going to move lower? Since all the numbers printed, the news came out as expected. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get this in here. I trade 940 lately. All right, so Daniel's thinking in. All right, we have JPMA in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Where are you? Let us know. Where are you watching us from? Which side of the world? Are you here in the US or somewhere else? I know we have, like I was saying, we have people in Europe. We have people from everywhere, basically. Let's look at our lines, put it on the 15. So I like when I see these little angles like there. Gives me a better idea of what the trend will look like. And you will see that this will line up with this peak. Let's get this line out of there. Seems to be curling. Hopefully it doesn't take off and gives us some kind of pullback. Oh, from Chile. Nice. We got Chile in the house. We got North Africa in the house. Spanish speaker. Hola, ¿cómo está usted? All right, all right, all right. Good morning from India. Yes, we got Bal Roger in the house. Very good. Good morning from India. Hello, everybody in India. Hello, everybody in Chile. All right. You said, can we do futures in XM account? We got anamorphic AI from Kazakhstan. All right. We got people from all over. Nice, nice. Guys, remember to like. Um, Let me see. How many likes do we have? Remember to like, guys. Remember to like the live. It helps the channel. We're going to have Steve join us in a bit. I would say around 10 o'clock, more or less. And we'll get going with him. Okay, so we've looked at, we're going to continue looking. Haha, muy bien. Nice. I speak a little bit of Spanish as well. I speak French too. So if we have any French speakers in the house, comment allez-vous? Yeah, could you expand on that a little bit? What do you mean by XM account? You got to know I'm a futures guy. I'm not on the CFD side. So if you're I'll assume you're talking about the other accounts, so the forex accounts, and you can't, well, you can trade the instruments we're trading in this on the CFD side. Yes, I mean, you could trade gold, you could trade the ES. It's probably going to be SPX 500. That's what the ticker is going to be. Actually, you know what, let's take a look. Let's switch. Let's go to trading view. And I think if you're talking about trading indexes, all right, Daniel is saying, unfortunately, you can't trade futures at XM if you mean the broker. Okay. I guess that's what you're talking about. XNS advantage. Okay, got it, got it. Well, Daniel just saved me here because I thought you were talking about some of our accounts. And my man Daniel says, no, you can't trade futures at XM. So there you go. But if we have some CFD guys here, the SPX is the S&P 500, and the NAS 100 is the Nasdaq. So yes, indeed, you're welcome. You're welcome to join the Fivers and trade there. So we're seeing a nice little recovery here on the indexes. Now let's take a quick look at gold. Let me open my weekly analysis here. Let's go back to a higher time frame. So I had an inflection area around the 5200s, and we have been rejecting, sorry, nicely off of it. We'll see what happens after the open. Gold is not something that I day trade for the moment, but we could definitely look at it and see what happens after the open. But you have to look at this as here, on February 27th, right? The attack happened right here. Well, on this day. So they were smart about it. They made it happen during the weekend, not while the markets were open. So, we had, this was the 27th, market gapped up after the attack, and then things started to sell off. We touched on this briefly yesterday, and I think the day before, that gold is considered a safe haven asset, and it should go up when war breaks out. Now, you have to understand that, and it's not my personal theory, but I support it, and many other um, people in the financial sector have been saying the same thing. When uncertainty breaks out, the correlations match, and everything sells off, or it gets completely inversely correlated. For example, you had oil going up. And what happens is a lot of people just have to, sell because they have positions to cover. Maybe they have to respond to margin calls and stuff like that, and they need money, so they have to sell, which explains this kind of gold sell off here, right? But it is not, to me, it's pretty significant. It was a 400 point drop, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about a 400 point drop. So it is significant in percentage terms. It's about 7%. So it's not nothing, right? But considering what happened there, this was panic selling. And of course, this was selling this huge rally that we had. This was a somewhat subdued panic. And I think now people have collected themselves in this area right here. People have collected themselves, and we're in a range. We're in a range. If you're a range trader, you could be buying, sorry, you could be buying these lows, and then selling these highs around the inflection area. So you're essentially doing something as the asset, does this. You're selling highs and then buying lows again until that stops working and you reevaluate and see what to do. But we've been range bound for a while. We were range bound here even before the war. So after each stair step up, we become range bound. So we'll see what happens on gold. 4 minutes to the open. We'll see. We have a question here from Daniel that says inflection area. So inflection area means, I could say, a decision point. Another term I like to use when I'm live with Victor is line in the sand, right? So it is an area in the chart where it is a level that tells us where we're placed. So a good example of that, of an inflection area, is VWAP. So we're gonna go look at VWAP on one of the charts. Let's go into the ES, for example. Um, so VWAP here in this case, where we're looking at it, this was way back in January. VWAP is our line in the sand, and it could be our inflection line. It explains it clearly. Is as long as we're trading under it, we are bearish. Sellers are in control, and you can see that because every time the asset comes into VWAP or near VWAP, it gets sold. So it comes near VWAP, gets sold. Comes near VWAP, gets sold. Comes near VWAP, gets sold. Continues to get sold until it reclaims VWAP, right? It reclaims that inflection area or inflection line and starts going above it and going higher. Funds and institutions use VWAP a lot. It's volume weighted average price because it kind of shows what it weighs in volume and tells us what is the average price buyers and sellers are paying for the asset. So when I'm doing my analysis, so let's go back to gold. When I'm doing my analysis, I usually have an inflection area to let us know, okay, who is in control. So right here, at least for this period here, we were more bearish. So we were below this inflection area. So as long as we would remain below this area, my bias would be more bearish. I would be looking for shorts. And as soon as we're able to break above this area, and maybe, so this is the line in the sand, and say from here, if we broke above, retested, I would not be looking for shorts. I would be looking for longs because we're trading above this area, right? So to me, this is what it is. You said your VWAP is weekly or daily, so it adjusts on based on the time frame. So let's go. All right, so Ballarat, we're open. Let's go look real quick. I'm gonna come back to your questions real quick, guys. I just want to see what happened. Whoa, we are taking off. We are taking off. Well, this is a case of missed entries. So we're gonna have to let this do what it does, and look at how beautifully it tapped into this level here, took off. So we missed that one definitely. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let me answer the questions. We're gonna have to let this trade. So inflection area I was explaining. Balaraju says, I think simply point of control in volume profile. Well, the point of control is probably a very good example of an inflection point, definitely. So you could consider this inflection point that I have here, the point of control, is buyers becoming in control. So as long as we're trading above this, we're bullish, and as long as we're trading below this, we are bearish, right? That's more or less how you could consider it. I hope you guys understand it. And let's turn this volume profile off. Let's let the asset do what it does. Let's keep going to the questions. So you're saying your VWAP is weekly or daily? Well, the VWAP is anchored to the daily open, but it starts at midnight in my case, right? So if you want, you can modify the settings here. I usually use the high low close divided by 3. Sometimes I'll modify it and put it on the high or the low. But if I want a specific VWAP, I'll use the anchored VWAP. I'm going to show you really quick. But the interval I'm using is a daily interval, right? And it starts at midnight. It doesn't start it starts on the new day. It doesn't start at the Asian Open. Man, we are taking off. Looks like I missed that one. Yeah, there's no there's no there's no point of me taking a trade there unless I'm short biased. But the way this is strong here and has volume behind it, I don't want to be selling into that for now. So we'll let this play out and see. This was a good opening range drive. JPMA says doesn't match mine. CPI, hold your horses 1 minute. Yeah, we took off. We missed that one. MNQ, yeah, take New York. Very fast. CPI came out exactly as forecasted, so no major moves will happen most likely. Well, we'll see. We'll see. How much displacement did we have right there? 100 136 points from, let's see where the open was, 920, 930. Okay, that's the first bar of the open. So yesterday I had the opening range drawn out for you guys, so I'll do the same today. We'll put it this there. And then we'll wait for the 15 for the people that use the 15-minute opening range, and we'll see. We will see. Let me know if you guys are looking for anything. Are you guys looking for any setups, particular setups to take your trades? Let me know what you're seeing. So now we're going to take a quick look at other things I look at, excuse me, when I'm trading that I've mentioned multiple times. So first thing is I like to look at the VIX and where are we positioned. So you can see the VIX was pretty high, 35. Ideal range for me is in the 20s. That's where we have enough volatility, but the risk is controllable. Just for you to have a reference, during COVID, let's put this on a daily. During COVID, we spiked to 85, so that's insane volatility. The VIX is the volatility of the S&P 500, so it shows you how volatile we are. So even though markets are moving, we're still, relatively subdued in comparison to how we can usually be. And then advanced decline. And the tick, I don't want to put it on the daily. I put it on a 5-minute chart. So tick chart is the cumulative NYSE volume. So how many stocks are we ticking up or down? I like to look at that. I like to look at the Vold ratio. So as you can see, we are ticking pretty green. It is up volume minus down volume. And if we're ticking up, that's pretty good. I haven't looked at the gold to silver ratio in a while. All right, so what is Apple doing? Let's see intraday. All right, we're ticking above VWAP, so that's good. All right, Nvidia had a wick there. What is Tesla doing? Woof. All right, Tesla up 10 points. Percentage terms, that is 2.5%. Microsoft is green. Amazon, okay. I see those wicks on all the most of the assets, so we'll see. CPIK is selling YM for 1R. Risky business at news, but I have a good strike on these setups. All right, good luck with that, Daniel. Let's go back. Let's see. Let's look at the YM. All right. Well, some relative weakness there on the YM. So good luck to you, Daniel. Let's eat those longs like you said yesterday. So we'll see. YM for 1R. Risky business at news. All right. I wonder, let me see how the risk would be on the MYM. So if you press spacebar on the chart, you could put MYM futures. That's the micro. Put it on a 5-minute chart. All right. Well, risk is decent. All right. That's about $1 a point. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Let's go back to the Qs. Okay. So we are still testing that level of interest I have here. Ideally, what I would want to see to go short. Whoa. What I would want to see to go short, even though I don't think the likelihood of that happening is high, is selling here, maybe a sharp move down, a lower high, and then I would get in this area. And I would target those previous lows here, right? For Yeah, that would be maybe 100-point move, risking about 50 points. So yeah, that is what would make sense to me. We'll see if that happens, but if that does happen, it's going to happen much later in the day. That is if I were to go short. Now we are strong, so I don't necessarily want to be looking for shorts. We'll see. Everything has been ticking green. So we'll see. Let's go to a lower time frame, see what this looks like. I have another little indicator here that I use sometimes. Let's look at this. Lots of green prints so far. So congratulations to anybody who was able to get long in time. We'll see what happens. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know if there are particular things you want me to look at. Oh, we haven't looked at oil, actually. So let's go look at crude. So I don't know if you guys realize how insane this move was. The last time we saw crude oil around the hundreds was in 2022, back when the Ukraine war broke out, and the play out was similar. We had a huge run up. So we went from trading a range of about a dollar 80, dollar 50, right? At most $2.75. We went from that range, right? Here. And then after Operation Epic Fury, we took off. We went up almost 10 points. And then our range shifted from a dollar 50, dollar 75 to eight, almost $10. And then we continued to move up, and that range expanded to an insane amount of 20, 20 plus points, right? Uh that's insane. That is a crazy range, guys. So let's go to my area, my weekly analysis area here. So in crude, I'm looking at a possible other move down. The market has a tendency to move in threes and in five. So we had one move down here, right? And then the consolidation. So that would count as one. We had a second move down here, and then another consolidation, which we're forming right now. So I'm looking for another move down into this area, which would come close to my previous inflection area. So I think we might settle somewhere around here, around the 75s. I don't know if we're going to go all the way down to the support area just yet. And we'll probably see some reversals around here. So we'll see. Look at YM, Cha-ching. Okay, let's look at YM. Let's go back to the YM. Where are you? Micros. Nice, 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 nice. Well, glad you caught it, man. Let's look at the Nasdaq real quick. See if we have something happening for us. Well, done, closed, home run. Nice. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. Let's let's give him a round of applause. Good job, good job, good job. All right. So, using YM as an indicator, since we're moving down, let's take a quick look. Our risk is there under control. Maybe we won't wait for the retest. We'll try something here. And let's look at our... All right, we're ticking down. Volt is down. Advanced decline, we're moving down. We've seen some rejection here. So I just took the trade. Like I was saying, I'll take about 2 trades a day, so we'll try this one first. I'm using the weakness in the YM to guide my trade. Since I saw and Daniel said, he got out, I am probably guessing there's going to be some rotation, and I'm shooting for a 1-to-1 here, so I won't wait for it to go all the way down because this is highly likely to be a reversal. So we'll see if we can make that happen. So we will look for a quick, maybe 5-10 minute trade for quick scalp, a move down of 1 to 2 candles, and that will consider it as a pullback. Our opening range, so let's put the 15-minute. This has been the opening range so far. So I'm targeting the lows here. We'll see if it happens, but if we're really bullish, it won't happen and it will take me out. So then the question becomes, we have to wait and wait for a better, cleaner setup. If this doesn't happen quickly, I'm going to get stopped out. Cowboy hat. NQ up, YM down. One is lying. One is lying. One is lying. We'll see. My opinion was the NQ was lying and the YM was telling the truth since it was down. So I'm looking for a quick down move. If it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. We'll see. We'll see how eager the buyers are to push this up. Again, guys, trading very, very small size. So we're risking 50 points to make 50 points. It's just a one-to-one trade. And we don't want to stay in this one too long because of this, how strong this was. So we'll see. Now, if the NQ is lying and we're going to tick down, well, that will happen, but let's see. Let's pull up those pivot points that we had yesterday. So interestingly enough, I'm in between those two pivot points. So we'll see. It would be good if this 5-minute bar could turn red, but buyers are holding it up. So far, buyers are stepping in. So we'll see if they can hold it or if we will get stopped out. Let's close those pivot points. Too many lines on the chart. Actually, let's go to a naked chart. All right, so we're completely naked. Our risk is there. As a matter of fact, we're gonna lower the risk because if this is gonna work, it's gonna work fast. So we'll see. Harris, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? We are right now in a trade looking for a quick move down. That, in my opinion, would be the pullback for the longs to go long again. Bulls, the bulls are buying this. They're holding it above the 25K area. All right, quick move down now. We're just gonna go break even. Doesn't mean we don't need to take a loss on this one. All right, let's see if we can get our TP. This has to be a quick one. Let's see the reaction around the 2030s. Slowly moving down. Let's see if we can get it. Can we get it? We're going to trail our stop because this is a scalp. If we don't get the full position here, we'll get a partial. So we have some some cash in our arsenal to risk on another trade. Can we TP? Can we TP? Can we TP? Doesn't look like we're going to TP. We got some volume coming in right now. So this means that momentum is probably going to shift to the upside soon. Give me that TP, NQ. Give it for the chat. This is the chat account. Let's get it. We'll make 50 bucks if not. So we'll make half an R. We don't want to overstay our welcome. Yep, buyers are stepping in. Okay, so we just made half an R on that one. And the reason is, so the logic behind this is this was our opening range. This is the bottom of the range. So it's highly likely that buyers are going to step in. We might see right here Oh, sorry. Let's put this here. It's highly likely buyers are going to step in here. We might see a pullback to these highs again. And that's the setup I was saying that I might want to take short. We'll see, depending on how the reaction is. My target was a little bit lower here, but so far so good. The point of that trade was to do a quick scalp, put some risk on our side so that on our second trade, if we find a good setup, we don't have to risk uh, a full R. Now, yes, I did move my stop, is because, like I said, quick scalp. Well, as it might, as it goes, this might go and hit our initial target, but it's fine. We'll let this flow. Well, seems like the NQ was lying. The strength wasn't really there. We'll see. It's still early in the day. We'll see what happens there. So, what are you guys trading? I know Stuart trades the NQ and ES. Did you take a position yet, Stuart? Let me know. Let me know. I have Void from North Africa. Did you take a position? I got JPMA from Chile. Let me know if you took a position. I got Balarajor here. Did you take a position? Let me know in the chat, guys. And remember, if you didn't like the video yet, if you like what you're seeing, give us a like. Harris Bin Sufyan, I guess that's how you pronounce your name. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know. Let me know where you're watching us from. And let me know what you're trading. All right. While this moves continues to digest, we got our quick scalp in. Let's see what gold is doing. So gold moving down. This is an hourly chart. Let's go to a faster time frame. All right, we got gold moving down. Let's look at oil. So I expect I'm gonna leave this drawing here because I expect this to move down. All right, we got Butterkeeper saying targeting NQ 24892. All right, let's take a quick look at this at your target. You said you're targeting 24892, 24892. Well, this is what I was this is what I wanted to avoid. This is why I got out early. Because this inflection area was interesting for me. We would have gotten our TP, but that's fine. Buyers are stepping in right now. 24892, 892. Okay. So you're looking at a similar area as I am. I don't know if you're day trading it or if you're swing trading it. I don't know what your time frame is there, but this is definitely an area of interest for me. So we have this because they bought multiple times here. They bought once, twice, three times, four times, five times, almost six times they bought in this area. Of course, it's got slightly higher. But another area of interest, if we are really bearish for me, is lower right here in the middle. Because if we make a comparison, so it's in the middle of this previous move up we had on the 9th. And I think since we rushed through those levels, there's probably liquidity left there in the middle. So this is probably going to be an area of interest. Let's go back. Let's look at what our friend NQ is doing. We had some nice buying volume come in here. This is a decent VWAP pullback setup, but I don't trust it, so I'm not going to take it. But this is a pretty clean setup. So right here, the logic behind this would be what? You had your initial opening drive, you pulled back, so you did a controlled pullback here, and you have volume and you have buyers stepping in. Now, there's a little bit of hesitation here, which is why I'm not trusting it. This wick is not interesting for me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might be wrong. This was the level I said where one could get long off of. So we'll see if this goes up, it gets rejected and forms a second bottom here, and maybe we'll be able to go long there. Um, we'll see. Because there has been news today, um, caution is recommended because we had the news. The news came out neutral, so we can't really pinpoint how the market is feeling, or at least I can't. I don't have that magic, magic, magic 8 ball yet, so I can't tell you what the market is going to do, how the market is feeling, but we'll see what happens. All right, so on the 5 minute chart, so this again on the 1 minute, it's looking like a decent setup, but you always have to zoom out, look up, see what's going on. And so far, we're still bearish. So far, we're still bearish. So we will see what happens. So the topic of the week is trading war volatility, and we're looking at how the markets react when there is war. And one thing we mentioned is that ranges expand, right? Ranges get wider and wider when there's volatility. Sorry, I got a notification there. I had to check it out. So yeah, ranges expand. So if you guys want to take a quick look, let me look at this. Looks like we're forming. Looks like we're holding up pretty well, actually. We're holding up. What time is it? 9:57. All right, it's gonna be 10 o'clock. I want to have my parallel time frame here. I would like to see how we react after the 10 o'clock open of the new candle. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a quick look at the ES. How is the ES behaving? So slightly under VWAP. What's volume profile saying? We are under our point of control. What are we doing on the MNQ? We are above our point of control, so slightly more bullish here. Let's look at our friend, the YM. We are well under our point of control here. So somebody's lying, like Daniel and Jane said. All right, we are moving up nicely. Bulls have taken control, and we are opening the hourly. All right, we got 50 seconds until the 1 hour candle opens, so we'll see how we react to that. This is a nice engulfing candle right there. So like I was saying, on the 1 minute chart, this was a nice setup, but I didn't trust it. So did not take it, but this is looking pretty good. Let's see how we open at 10 o'clock. Let's see what this does. All right. So Daniel says YM at opening 935 does 200 points to 99%, 245 now. Then it normally reverses, rarely sets direction until 1 hour after the opening. All right. That's interesting insight there. I'll have to be looking at the Dow more often now, since Daniel and Samir have piqued my interest. It's usually not something I trade, but since I have both guys trading it and I have it looking very interesting, and it trends pretty cleanly also. So we'll probably start looking at it. Okay, this looks like we're breaking, so we're gonna. Oh man, this happened too fast. I was gonna take a quick opening range breakout, but we missed it. Well, we missed our opportunity. We missed it. This is gonna go without me. Well, guys, it's all about discipline. We missed this one. This would have been a nice opening range breakout. This is our opening range. And this would have been, if we measure, right? If we measure the range, the first 15 minutes. So let's take this out. Let me put this bigger so everybody can see. So first 15 minutes, this is the range. And if I copy this here, it's highly likely that we reach this target and we see some selling from here. But these markets require you to be fast, and unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough. I don't want to chase because I won't be able to control my risk. Ideally, it would have been good to catch this here, since we had, so 1 R for me is 50 points, $100. We already had $50, so I could have, risked a little bit more and used that $50 as padding for the risk to do a 2 to 1, but it's too late. So maybe we get a pullback. Maybe the asset completely reverses. We'll see, but we'll have to stick in there and see if we find another opportunity. So far, we have one win in the books, half an R for the day. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let me send a quick message here. I have somebody pinging me. So I'm going to send a quick message. Well, that's some quick selling there. So it tapped into, this is this is a good 1 to 1 risk reward there if you had taken the breakout. And we're selling off. That is some quick rejection. Interesting. Quick rejection here. We didn't even do the full range, which is interesting. All right. I guess buyers are stepping in again. Let's see what happens. Just looking at some other charts there to see if we can find if the entry makes sense. We have volume coming in. All right. So we're going to risk a little bit more. We'll see if this is a pullback. This was heavy rejection here, but we'll see. So risking a little bit more than 1 R. We'll see if this previous resistance becomes support. And if this remains a pullback or not. We're seeing some good strength on the longs. While this is doing its thing, let's look at the So Nvidia moving up, Apple kind of neutral there. Tesla's bullish. Let's look at the Volt ratio, tick chart. We were ticking down. Advanced decline. Okay. So advanced volume minus declining volume. We look to be ticking green. And VIX is moving down. So let us see what happens there. We don't want this to hesitate too much. Let's switch to a 5 minute. All right. So our stop is pretty wide. We're shooting for a 2-to-1 possibly here. Let's look at the open. How much points would that be from the open? That would be about 200 points. So that does make sense since today we're getting good ranges. So we will see if that can happen. And that will be my second trade for the day. We saw some rejection here. So hopefully these shorts can get squeezed and we get our second level. So high volume came in here. We had a decent number of sellers. So we'll see what happens. Let's look at the comments. YM was lying, but that is okay. This is not the court. Get in and get out faster. Yeah, these are fast markets. These are fast markets. All right. We want this to move and hold. So if the next candle, if this candle doesn't flip and doesn't continue, it doesn't make sense for me to hold the trade. I'm not going to hold until we get down there. It doesn't make sense to take that loss. So yeah, if this doesn't hold, we're getting out. It's not holding, so we're out. We'll wait. All right, we'll wait and see what happens. So basically neutral on the day right now. It was good that we had one win. This way, this second trade, we could use the gains from the previous win on this second attempt, the second scalp. So far, nothing. So we're going to have to be really patient on this one. I was looking for some follow through there and maybe go retest the opening ranges. Uh, you know, the same displacement we had on the opening range. I was looking for that there, but we're seeing some rejection. Now, I had said if I was going to go short, I wanted to this to form a second high over there, and we kind of reject under there, but we came in with a lot of strength, so it was a no go for the shorts for me. All right, this is getting very intense and pretty volatile there after the 10 o'clock open. Let me see. You know what? Let me see if there's some breaking news real quick. Is there some news going on that I don't know about? Because the markets are moving pretty quickly. One sec. All right. So release of strategic oil reserve will take place over a time frame that is appropriate. Natural gas markets have now few options. So nothing particular right now. Oh, officials prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes. And apparently Trump said to Axios practically nothing left to target in Iran. And he says war with Iran will end soon. That was 6 minutes ago. So 6 minutes ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, lines up with this move here. So we'll see. The other thing you guys need to consider when it is wartime is that any tweet, and I'll talk about this in my presentation today, any tweet, any news that comes out is can move the markets quite significantly. And I'll show you a specific example in the presentation today on Discord. We're doing that at 11:30 after the stream. Any tweet is liable to move the markets. Okay. Snav Empire. Hi, hi, hi. How you doing? Where are you watching us from? Let us know, let us know, let us know. Okay. So far, 2 trades in. All right. I see somebody in the house. You let me know when you're ready. All right. We have Super Steve Tileman in the house. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Thanks so much for having me on. Doing
Sure,
well. How about
sure,
yourself?
sure. You doing well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have
Well,
some action here, don't we? It's been a
we
been a kind of exciting morning.
we do. It's been an interesting morning. We've taken 2 live trades so far. One winner, one loser. So we're kind of break even on the day, $3 in profit. So we're looking at these markets. So let me know, what's on your mind? What's on your mind? How's this war been treating you?
Well, war, I'm never for it, It's always a
Yes,
bummer, but
indeed.
it does create opportunities. So I'm trying to pick my spots and really capitalize off of this increased volatility that we're getting. So for day traders like us, right? It's kind of a it is a good environment for a lot of big moves. I've been enjoying it in a market sense, I would say. How about you?
Same here. Same here. I've been an observer of the moves mostly. I day trade and swing trade, and I haven't taken much swing trades because of the crazy volatility.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been interesting as a day trader to see how the ranges have expanded. I trade the NQ, well, the micros primarily, and the ranges have basically doubled since this whole thing started.
Mm-hmm.
But to touch on the first thing you said, war on a personal level is always a very sad thing. I wish we could eradicate that and stop stop fighting.
Yeah.
But as traders, we kind of have to put our feelings and emotions aside and
Mm.
treat it as numbers on a screen and volatility and see how we can take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I try to tell people like it doesn't make you a bad person to buy oil,
Yeah.
like you got to trade the environment
Exactly.
available. If you feel really guilty, maybe go donate to charity, but nobody's twisting your arm. We're here to
Exactly.
take the best trades, and that at the end of the day, there are a lot of the best trades have been on oil. And
That's true.
also, I just think it's so important to be aware of oil right now. It kind of what it brought to my mind when I saw that we were going to be talking about this. I was thinking about how oil has become, because of the meta game, so to speak, right now, a really reliable secondary indicator for, almost like more reliable than VIX at times for predicting index moves for us index scalpers. So
True.
yeah, that's a cool kind of way that things kind of fit together there, where, sometimes we'll be in a different kind of geopolitical risk situation. You'll see gold or silver kind of take that leading role. And like, well, if that's where the risk off money's going, well, you can kind of see that being more intertwined with SPY and QQQ's price action. So I've been really watching oil. I haven't been trading oil very much at all. That's like you said, swing trades haven't been working. That was the only one that was working. So finally rang the register there. But
Nice.
I wish I got in short like you guys. I don't know if you did personally, but I know a lot of day traders were all over that massive blow off top.
Yeah, that I unfortunately didn't catch that blow off top at all. I didn't catch anything at all in oil. I was just an observer, unfortunately. Or fortunately, because maybe I would have gotten burned and been on the wrong side. But
Mm,
yes, oil has been an interesting indicator for, kind of a gauge in the markets. And I was looking at how much these ranges expanded. I was saying earlier how we went from, trading a range of maybe 2 points on average to going up and trading about 8 points on average and going all the way up to 20 points there on average. And
insane.
here I think we're back down to about a 20-point average there. So uh really interesting moves on oil. I don't know if you are a gold or silver or any currency futures trader as well. But the reaction on gold was interesting. I didn't expect such a sell off so early, so sharply. But as I mentioned earlier, money managers have to sometimes everything correlates to one, and everybody has to get out and
Right.
have some cash on hand to redeploy
Yeah.
or to cover margin calls. So maybe that's what happened there.
Yeah, isn't it interesting to see that? It's with silver and gold becoming these high beta like momentum trades in a way. It kind of robs it of some of its kind of inherent or quote unquote inherent properties of these sectors, these kind of risk off lifeboats. It's like, well, if they're just ripping 20% each month, when the market needs to ring the register and take cash from somewhere, they become appealing options despite being gold in a geopolitical situation.
Indeed.
So very interesting. But then you also see those snapbacks. I'm just looking at gold for the first time today, and yeehaw, that's a that's a oops reversal. Look at
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We were looking at it a little bit earlier today,
that. Mhm.
so it's going to be interesting to see what it does. I want to see if we can go get back above those 5200s and kind of recover that down move here. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see what
that's what I
happens
got
there on
too.
gold.
5,200, give or take. But yeah,
Yeah,
roughly a
give or
VWAP
take.
in the previous swing high looks good to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking to plant my flag a little more in silver. I do have a starter position from a few days ago, but
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
Let's take a
How,
quick look.
how do you feel about silver in general? I know you're not a big swing trader, at least not right now, but
Um,
generally bullish? Think I'm crazy?
Generally bullish. Yes. Give me 1 second. Taking the wrong contract here. Actually, let me just switch to my trading view because I think I have it pulled up.
Oh yeah, the
There
contracts.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the perpetual.
Dave, you remember the first time you saw a contract flip? You were like, "I'm rich" or "I'm broke." Someone explained it to you.
Yeah.
I remember my time. I was so psyched, and then I was like, "This feels worse than losing."
Yeah.
I thought I was up a lot.
Indeed, indeed. I went from trading. I used to trade stocks. So, well, actually, it's that's a segue into that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background. How you got into trading, what you usually trade, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
We, including me, want to know. I've watched a little bit of your classes actually,
Oh,
or
thank you.
I'll call them webinars. The very interesting one to me was when you were talking about Gex
Oh, nice.
stuff.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was a while ago, but it was good. I think it was very informative. I learned a lot. So yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that, Dave. So yeah, I'm Steve Tileman. I have been trading about what is it? Oh, geez, about 6 years, like actively trading. I've invested a few
Nice.
years before that. Kind of got my toes wet in the whole Wall Street bets environment.
Oh,
So
really?
I played GME, I played Sundial, Tilray, all of those companies that now I'm like, oh, thank thank goodness they're not still in my port. AMC, all the silly stuff.
Yeah.
What I learned from there is that there is a lot of room to make money, but there's a lot of room to be taken advantage of. And I learned a lot about game theory and how to kind of position myself in that environment where I'm a little fish in a big pond, right? So kind of
Hmm.
trying to carve out that edge as retail and find my place. So it was a long journey. I spent a lot of years. I kind of cut my teeth trading commodidies. I do
Okay.
not recommend that to start, to be honest. But
Interesting.
yeah, I was a big steel trader. I was really big into metals. base
Okay.
metal, commodities that I thought we would need, for the whole
Mhm.
back then. This was like Biden's Build Back Better, I think, way back then when we were doing like starting to talk about the Chips Act and stuff.
Mhm.
So, anyways, this kind of set the tone for me as an investor. In general, I like hard assets. I thought the tech bubble was, or the big software as a service in particular bubble was really silly with the multiples. So I gravitated towards these kind of fundamental setups. But then I was like doing all this research, finding these amazing fundamental setups, and the market wasn't rewarding me. So I was missing a piece of the puzzle. I was like, "What's going on here?" I remember Zim, the shipping company, is it was like trading under book value. It was there was like massive potential for supply chain issues going into the COVID stuff, and
Uh-huh.
it was so cheap, and the market just kept punishing it. So I had to
Yeah.
figure out why, and that's where technical analysis came into the picture for me. So
Nice.
yeah, for me, I don't know about you, Dave, but for me, it felt like a cheat code because I was like, wait, so I can look at one chart on one screen, and if I figure out pattern recognition, I get to aggregate all of the institutional grade research that all these institutions are trading on. I'm seeing their orders on the book. I
Mhm.
can follow that. And so that was a big light bulb moment for me. And so that was the start of where I'm at now, which is, I love swing trading, but when the environment's not right, now I primarily just catch these small intraday moves and, kind of build my cushion that way so I can take these swing trades and not be sitting on my hands if things aren't working at all, but also not be too but basically I'm trying to get more exposure as the market's working, and as it stops working for my system, I'm just taking smaller direct moves. So that's where we're at today. I love trading indices primarily, so I'm right
Nice.
there with you, Dave. I either trade futures or I trade shares in my trade the pool account, or
Mhm.
I'll if the situation is right, I do options as well. So that's kind of,
Oh, okay.
yeah, a little, but I'm the first to say I think futures are a better choice. I think that for 95% of traders, futures are a better choice, or shares are a better choice. To be honest, and this is
Yeah.
somebody who loves the chase. I'll tell you firsthand. I do like gambling, but I
Hey,
know when I'm gambling. That's the thing.
don't all traders. I think all traders are, at least 1% gamblers deep inside their hearts. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this.
Dave, what can you
So,
say? We do a little speculating. It's part of
exactly.
the job.
Exactly. It's part of the job. You have to speculate a little bit. I remember I was talking to Richard.
Mhm.
He's on the Fiverr's FX live, and he was saying, "Well, I never try to predict where price is going to go. I don't speculate. I don't speculate." I was like, Richard, I kind of disagree.
Deep
We
down,
have to speculate at least a
yeah.
little bit, because if you're not speculating, you're not trading, in my opinion.
Well, I think that's a great little anecdote and a point because speculation means different things to different people. I have a good friend who's he's a Korean momentum trader, and those
Okay.
Korean momentum traders they love sizing up, and he'll be the
Yeah.
first to say that. But he says I don't gamble. To him, it's not gambling to take a massive position size. So it depends on your risk. For me, I do speculate, but I try to always think about things like you're saying. I do predict, but
Yep.
I'm saying I think that this might happen if we are biased bullish. If we're biased bearish, I think this might happen. And these are what I'm looking for to change from one to the other. So it's kind of like, for me, it's like preloading scripts,
Yep.
and it's like, or scenarios, planning for different contingencies. So yeah, I'm speculating, but I'm not getting married to any one idea on a good
Exactly.
day, I guess.
I think this reminds me of a quote. I can't remember who said it, but it was like, when you're trading, you need to have strong opinions held lightly. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I
That's
can't
really
remember who said it. It's a very famous trader, one of
nice.
those very well known ones, but I can't remember who. But yeah, it's like you have to have a strong opinion. You have to be confident that, okay, I'm going to enter here because I think this is going to happen. But if it doesn't happen, I'm okay, with getting out. And this morning, today is what I did. I got long, and I had my stops set and everything. And I was expecting a certain move, and when it didn't happen,
Mhm.
hey, I got out, and,
Yeah.
we're waiting for the next opportunity.
Totally
So,
respectable. I love that. And Dave, I'm wondering if oh, by the way, we are third knocking the low of the day here on spot. I'm sorry, trying to double bottom higher low intraday. Not sure if we
yep.
will. but it's kind of a third knock if you look at the close from Tuesday, from yesterday as well. So just an area to note here. Kind of feels heavy. I
It feels heavy. It
Yeah,
does.
my only position on is just a hedge.
Okay.
And I didn't get a perfect entry or anything, but it was just kind of at my so about 15 minutes into the market open, I really look for these kind of reversal areas. It's a very
Hmm.
high probability time for me to look for those. So for me personally, I didn't have a strong directional bias, but the daily chart was just looking sketchy to me with that top wick. And then when you combine that with the potential for a CPI result that maybe the market is a little bit too excited about, with the
Hmm.
last couple of days. So that was kind of my base thesis of just needing to hedge. So I'll be honest, Dave, I'm a little not functioning super sharply here. I got a head cold and brain fog here.
No,
So I
it's fine. You told me.
you know
It's you're fine. You're totally fine. You're doing great right now. Don't worry about it.
Sure,
Um,
sure. I appreciate that. Just in terms of like, I don't feel like super when I'm not feeling super sharp. I just play a little safer, right? So I was like,
yep.
I don't know if we're gonna go up or down, but I know that I was telling my server 678 to 679 is this big pivot, especially 679. So it was my pivot time, and we were at 678.30. So that's
Hmm.
when I shorted, and then if I waited 10 minutes, then I would have gotten my 679, and that would have been a really nice rejection. So patience would have paid a little
Would
better
have paid
there.
off.
Yeah, we did get the low of the day break here. I would expect if you're looking to short, maybe we get a little bit of a pop back to like 677 on. Well, I'm looking at SPY here right now. I
No,
can
it's
pull up the
fine.
futures.
We
Uh,
can
no,
we
but this
can
is the
use it
future
as a
chart.
proxy to get in. Yeah, I was looking to get short around, well, the 25, below the 2500s where we were talking, so I missed it, but it's
Oh
fine.
man,
The
sorry about
the
that.
No, it's not your fault. It's the price we pay for trading live.
It's tough. Yeah,
It's
people don't
tough.
don't get
People
that.
don't, yeah, I think people underestimate how much it requires. That's why I'm trading extremely small
Yes,
size.
yes, and that's such a good rule for anybody, if whether you're a content creator, whether you have a day job. If you're able to look at the computer every once in a while, you can place trades if you're sizing very small and you are respecting your stops.
Yep.
And I think it's a great way to like how I look at it, Dave, is like when I'm going waking up and streaming, I'm like, hey, maybe I get to make a little extra money, maybe, but
Yep.
but you know what? I'm never going to risk more than I'm making at the day job, because like
That's
that's
true.
so let's see. Okay, SPY looking for pre-market lows now. That'd be, let me get the ES level for y'all. ES 67.65, 67.64. Right around there is the level I'm looking for on ES.
67.64. All
But
right.
if we got, so you're primarily a Nasdaq trader?
I trade both the ES and the NQ. I usually prefer the NQ because it's just more volatile,
Yeah,
and I've traded it so much that you kind of develop a feel
yeah,
for
absolutely.
it, but when for example, on Monday, I traded the ES as a proxy for the NQ. I was looking at the setup, and then I was like, okay, I'll take it on the S just because it made more sense, and I was able to risk less.
Yeah,
But I trade both. I trade both.
I love that.
One and
Just
the
throwing
other.
it out there, Qs. So not the futures, but the Qs
The Qs,
are,
yeah.
they gap filled here. So it's an area of interest for me, but with SPY leading lower, we'll have to kind of see. It seems
Let's look at the
it is.
Qs. I have them pulled up right now. And what do you want to look at? A five
Oh,
minute?
oh yeah, 5 minute, 1 minute, anything like that. Just noting that we're back to cash session close. There, I'm just looking at my non-extended hours chart and seeing that we're trying to catch here. Maybe get a little bit of a bounce,
Yep.
but I would still be looking for spots to probably get short until we're able to have some volume coming in here and
Indeed.
showing us we're wrong.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, I think if I go back to the other chart this morning, I could show you where I did the where I took the trade. So we broke the opening highs here with volume, and then when we pulled back here, and I saw buyers stepping in with volume there, I kind of got long there, risking the prior low. But we weren't able to push higher. So since we were not able to do it there, in my opinion, the the buyers have given up so far, and
Mhm. Yeah, it's
bears have
not a
taken
good
control.
look.
So
Not a
we'll
good
see.
look. So how do you feel about what I've noticed is You mentioned you watched a little bit of the GEX gamma exposure stuff. So we are still in negative gamma, which leads to these big oversized moves in both directions as Q's trying to catch. We'll see if they can.
Yep.
I'm wondering if this on SPY and ES, this is a back test of the morning range, morning opening range.
Let's see. I
Cash
put
cash level.
you on. Put your screens
Oh,
there.
nice. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, you're in public.
So yeah, now that I'm in public, guys, I know my charts are kind of it's a lot of information, kind of insane.
No,
These
you're
are not
fine.
usually meant for public consumption, but I can talk you through anything that's of note. In general, I do try to keep it pretty simple, believe it or not. So we have some support there that I want to keep an eye on. We have resistance up here. This was pre-marked level. You can see we did tag into that and reject it. On the high time frame, it's labeled danger zone because on the
Danger
way
zone.
down, that was the danger zone. Now we retested the danger zone and said, yeah, we're still in danger. We're still
Yep.
Ralph Wiggum here. I think a little bit. Um, the CPI move, I don't I trade so lightly. On a day that I'm streaming and CPI,
Hmm.
we're talking risking like $25 probably a trade, something like that. Because I'm scared. Like you
Yeah.
said, when we're watching and talking, it's hard to talk through your thought process and execute and
Yep.
entertain. And
Especially when you have somebody talking to you with you. You want to be paying attention and not be staring at the screen and
yeah,
so
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
it is a challenge, but and then we have comments coming in, so we have to answer those as well.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it is a big challenge. Let me look at that chat real quick. So we have Snav Empire watching from the UK. Hello, Snav Empire. Thanks for
howdy.
tuning in. I think I see a possible short entry here
I
real
was I was
quick.
gonna say I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was a
Are we gonna get
retest.
it? Let me close this real quick. All right, we got it. A little sloppy. We'll see what happens there.
I like
Risking
that.
1R.
So for me, that was a little wick back into the 200-minute moving average, as well as for me, my system. I have like these triggers based on different time frames, and we have the hourly, 1 minute, 5 minute, all stacked right there. On SPY, it's 676.82. I'll grab that ES level as well. This chart on TradingView is 10 minutes delayed. So,
No, you're fine. You're fine.
oh boy.
We can pull mine in a
Yeah, yeah. For
few.
for the futures, sorry, I came unprepared. Next time I'll have my futures broker open and all of that.
Don't
So
worry. Don't worry.
you can tell I
Uh,
was not in the futures trading mode this morning. I just wanted to watch the CPI, and I do wish I caught that pop
that
short.
little pop. Yeah,
That would have been nice. Because
it
if
would
you're
have.
intraday and you're not looking at a higher time frame chart, which I can pull up here, you don't realize what we kind of tagged up into. And it was this previous pivot, which we just lost into the close yesterday, tried to reclaim it at that 680. And that
Yep.
was what we kind of transacted and showed definitely strong sellers still.
Strong
So
selling still. Ha, I like your danger zone here that you were talking about.
yeah, yeah. And so and I know it's kind of chaotic. This is kind of what I would consider my master chart. I don't usually
Okay.
trade off of this as much as just have it up in the corner for reference and then trade on a nice blank canvas that I can doodle on. But I'm
Nice.
wondering if we need to kind of retest this put wall down here at the kind of, let's see, about 0.5% down, I would say, and kind of retest the base that we broke out from on at the end of the day Monday. So that's kind of what I'm considering here, and I could consider that a potential higher low on the
Yes,
hourly.
indeed.
So my ratio is kind of weird there. I give you more screen. All right,
No, you're fine.
there we go. So yeah, I would like, let's clear yesterday's path. We didn't get the dip down, but we did get the target. So today I would like, where are my crayons? There we go. I'd like a test of this level. So this kind of pivot right here.
Hmm.
And if we caught like this, it would be a good higher low. If we don't, though, and I'm kind of worried that I think maybe we don't. And if we don't, we could see a pretty significant slide. If it washes this out, I would say 670 gets swept. And I would say another potential bottoming area for a higher low would be this. I call it the devil level 66666.
I like how you got your names there. You got the danger zone. Well, of course, your call wall. You got the devil level, and it even rhymes. So
Yeah,
nice.
you got to keep it fun. You got to keep it entertaining. For
Indeed.
me, I just remember them better if these different zones have kind of different characteristics to them. I'm weird, Dave. I also personify my charts. I think of each chart as having their own personality.
It
And
well, they do. They
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 do,
have their
right?
personality. Each asset, that's I say that all the time. Each asset has its own personality. So
Mhm. And
totally agree there.
I love it. You
Since
know,
we're
it's
talking, let me put
Mhm.
my stop to break even just because
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
need to take a loss while we're talking and then I can focus on what you're showing me. I agree totally with your levels. What you're showing me for the ES would correspond to about 24 the 24 900s on the NQ, which is what
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Oh man, buyers are stepping in.
Yeah, trying for that higher low. I'm like I said, I'm size small and I'm in that hedge from about 678 or what is that on NQ roughly somewhere like 25, I don't know, 2570, something like that.
Okay,
I got a little bit of breathing room. I'm watching my moving average ribbons here on the 1 minute. I'm seeing we are oversold on the 1 minute oscillator. On the let me go to just for simplicity's sake on the hourly oscillator. I'm a big oscillator guy, um, just for kind of tracking the trajectory on different time frames. So for me, hourly is pointing down and just starting to, and it's getting this crossover right at the equilibrium, kind of the
got it.
middle of the range there. So for me, I'm not too worried about little pop ups like this. I would kind of expect that top wick if we start reclaiming 677 or basically the previous little swing high there, then I probably have to reconsider just a little bit the potentiality of another transaction of the 680 level. I just I'm not seeing anything too crazy. To full disclosure, I don't have my full Gex things all pulled
Oh, it's
up.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so I'm not looking at all the internals because I'm not trading with size quite yet. I think that one thing is we got exact equal lows there.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I had to hit out just because I didn't like that
that's
reaction
fair.
there.
Totally fair.
Tape was getting heavy.
Mhm.
So, a quarter R in profit right now. And
Hey,
that's probably
green
going to be 8 for the day. Hey, green day, neutral day is always a win for me. So, we'll leave it like that.
Hey, it's so important if you don't see it, you don't need to be in a play. I tell this to people all the time. There's such a almost compulsion for new traders to catch the move, you know?
Yeah.
And even I get it. I woke up today and I was thinking like I had that in me like I wanted to catch the move and I'm thinking like, "Wait, do I really?" It's
Yeah.
CPI, like any move that I'd catch would be less high probability than my usual setup, so I'd have to size down just by my system. Then I go, well, now I'm making concessions. I don't need to take this trade. There's going to be another tomorrow, you know? And also,
There's always a trade. I didn't know that at the beginning, but there's always a trade. And
Mhm.
then you see some insane moves. I remember when I used to trade small caps, which I don't trade at all. And I remember those what was it? Oh man, I can't remember that ticker. It was one of those weed stocks.
Oh boy, Sundial, Tilray, Aurora. There we
Tilray,
go.
my old friend Tilray. Yeah, we
The
had some
encyclopedia of
insane moves,
zombie
and I was
companies.
yeah, and I didn't
Right.
catch it, and I was like, "Oh, I'll never see that again." Yeah, right.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Next week, right? As we always say, prices crashing to prices not seen since Tuesday. You know.
It's crazy.
So intraday traders here, keep the possibility open for a little bit of a long here. We did get the W bottom.
We did.
I gotta say it is a higher low from pre markets. If they're gonna save it, this is not the worst place. Do you like Fibonacci ratios at all?
I look at them. It's
Mhm.
not something I really utilize in my trading. I'll do it from time to time when I remember.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
In my
Totally.
past career, I used to be in advertising
Nice.
and design. Yeah, so Fibonacci ratios were interesting in design, so I think they're fun, but
Yeah,
not something I necessarily uh, you know put heavy considerations into. But hey, I'm open minded. And yeah, I
totally.
look at them from time to time. Before I give you the mic, I just want to say hi to Butterkeeper3965 from China. So we got people from everywhere, people from Chile, China,
Awesome.
Spain, all around Europe, India, the UK. Where else? I saw people from everywhere. Just remember to like, guys. Remember to like. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Turn that notification bell on so that we could trade the markets together. Yes,
Man,
Steve,
I
you were
love
saying.
it. Ni hao and hello and welcome to everybody from all over. I love the diverse community. I think that's such a strength for us in
Yep.
here. as well as America. So you know what? We get the diversity of opinion, and it takes two sides to make a market, right? So
Indeed,
we need
indeed.
those bears, we need those contrarians, we need everybody. I love it. We're building a coalition, a team here.
Yes,
So SPY,
indeed.
I'm just watching. There was the VWAP. I found sellers a little before VWAP. There's a few things I kind of watch when it's just kind of choppy here for intraday trend. And for me, I love my 200 minute. I love my 50 minute. Those are both SMAs, and I love my VWAP. So when they're all kind of clustered and we're pinning right there, I'm not inclined to take any trade, and I'm just going to keep my directional higher time frame hedge on as well. That's kind of where
Okay.
I'm sitting at. But you know what? We do have the little double bottom. I would not be offended if they swept this up.
Yes,
I don't know, a little bit
it's
higher, about
something to consider. I think the price action right now is not ideal for me,
yeah,
and I've just discipline wise, I've told the the viewers that I won't be taking more than 2 trades per day, and I've already taken my 2 trades. Well, at
yeah.
least on this
You're up to
account.
7. No,
What?
it's and you're up to 7. No, it's tough to stick to rules, but that's where I think your discipline and experience comes in. You do this as a job, so you see it. You're like, I tell people every day because you see so many little statistics like it's the first time in history that this has happened. History is made every minute,
Yeah,
somewhere in the market, there's something crazy and unheard of happening. And that's just the name of the financial game. So there's always so many opportunities. And the more everything I'm saying that sounds like I'm espousing wisdom, this is just stuff that I've learned the hard way, and I'm still
indeed.
teaching myself, beating it into myself. And there's always another trade, and you will be rewarded 10 times over for your diligence in managing your headspace you know
I
there
agree. I totally agree. Like you said at the beginning, it was you felt like there were. I started just like you about. I started summer 2019,
nice.
so right before those crazy COVID, post-COVID moves,
Oh yeah.
and I had to learn the hard way. Started in small caps. Now I do not touch small caps.
I see why they put us together. This makes sense, Dave.
Yeah, probably.
We're coming from it from a very similar perspective, and
Very
that was
similar background, yeah.
that's what I
I
love.
was with Jane yesterday who was saying the same thing. She does not touch, small caps. So
And like I said, it takes two sides to make a market. Some days Josh and Kevin and Joe and Mitch are on fire on those
yeah,
small cap trades. And some days they don't get the setups that we do in the large caps where it's just easy peasy, level to level, and you're allowed to size up a
you're
lot
allowed to
more on
size
these
up.
big boys, because
You
the SPY is not going to drop 10%.
no,
That's
and most of all, you don't have liquidity issues. I don't
yeah.
know how often it's happened to you to have, a small cap stock halt on you, and then you're waiting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, nothing's happening, and you're on the wrong side of the trade
Mhm.
just because there's
It
no
feels
liquidity there. It's not that I was trading inside insane size, on the
mhm,
contrary, but no, I can't. I couldn't deal with that anymore. Being in the trade
yeah,
and then
totally.
everything stopping. We don't run that risk on futures. Things would really have to go crazy for
Mhm.
those circuit breakers to trigger.
So I
So
will
yeah,
say this is one of the rare situations where options can be your friend because compared to futures, if you know yourself and you're a gambler, be careful with those. The contract can keep going against you, but
yeah,
you are defining your risk if you're getting an options contract. You can define your risk even more though by just having regimented systems like Dave here, and just respecting them. And I think that so much is kind of like over pontificated, over
yeah.
trying to figure out like this holy grail when it really is just math. It's like I've seen traders who aren't, not to be rude, but they're not that amazing in terms of their technical analysis or macro thesis. They're kind of first level,
Mhm.
but they're making consistent money because when they're wrong, they respect their stops, and when they're right, they don't need to be right 50% of the time. They can be right 30% of the time with good stops and make money.
Exactly, exactly. I think once you kind of find somewhat of an edge in the market, you kind of find what works for you. You kind of know, okay, this is kind of the few setups that I have that I know have a whatever higher probability of winning than losing. It all comes down to mastering yourself, and that's the hard part of trading. I think that's where a lot of people fail. That's why a lot of people quit, because I think that's the harder part.
Yeah.
And you have to find your system. And I used to have, well, I use that word lightly, used to, but it still comes and goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have this huge overtrading problem,
Yeah.
because I would think, oh man, I'm gonna miss an opportunity, and
Right.
I would be seeing setups where there were none,
Yeah. Yeah. The
and
phantom setup. I've been there.
exactly. So I think every trader has been there, and if you haven't, well, it's probably coming.
Exactly. That's another thing. People don't, this is not a knock against people. It's a human thing. It's really hard to learn from others' experience. Some
Indeed.
people are can. I think that's the difference between intelligence and wisdom, you know, but
Yep.
like sometimes you need to learn the lesson yourself. And that was how it was for me. I knew all this stuff about risk management, but until I experienced tail risk, the downside of tail risk, when you get three 10% probabilities in a row and you're like, holy moly.
Yep.
um if I don't have strict risk management, it's just like, I think the rough statistic is like you have a 3-year horizon if you're a sloppy trader, where one of these days it will catch up on you. You will have a catastrophic loss if you do not practice a diligent risk management system.
Well, I had those catastrophic losses very early.
Mhm.
So I learned how these could affect you very early.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
I didn't even know about prop firms back then, so it was all my
All off,
hard
baby.
earned money.
You and
And
me. I
being a somewhat of a gambler, I went all in and
Mhm. Yeah.
invested way too much, way too fast, and learned a lot of hard lessons in those first couple of years. So yeah, I think
Mhm.
depends on the individual and how you start off in the market, but eventually, the market will teach you what you need to learn. Most of all, it'll teach you about yourself. It's amazing how much of your personality is reflected in how you trade. I tend to be somebody who's either very impatient or extremely patient, which is why it's easy to me for me to day trade and
Yes.
scalp.
Mhm.
It's easy also for me to invest and have like a 10-year
Yeah,
horizon.
but
But
they're
that
different, right?
middle ground,
Yes, dude.
that 1 to 2 day, 3-day max middle ground, it's very hard. I'm getting into
Yeah.
string trading slowly. I've done a little bit of it, but it's hard for me. Sometimes I can't even sleep. So
Absolutely. Yes, I'm with you, and that's a great indicator. If you're having trouble sleeping, hey, there's other systems for you, you know? So I'm watching this little area here, by the
yep,
way, on
I
SPY.
see it.
It's the equilibrium of the range. We got this congestion. I'm not playing like a first candle up, first candle down thing. I just wanna watch for the progression here and see if we can kind of get a hint whether this, based on what price does at the equilibrium, or basically in this range we've established, this is fair value, so to speak, at the moment. So it does seem strong under here, but
It
you know,
seems it seems stronger. I see
yeah,
volume coming in.
that's better.
It if I hadn't taken my two trades of the day, I probably would have tried one here.
Hmm.
Let me just we'll put a measurement here. Risking fire lows, yeah.
See, I'm just seeing the
So
peaks above not being like
they're
respected yet, but it's not a
not
hard
yet.
rejection either. So for me,
It's
I'm just hanging out personally. I'm also watching VIX. Um, I just want to kind of see what it does. It's not giving me anything really major here. It looks vaguely bearish for VIX, vaguely bullish for SPY, but I'm not ready to.
yeah,
I'm pretty I'm
deploy.
pretty chilling here.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes I just like to watch and
Mhm.
see what happens and see, okay, would have been something I couldn't do before,
Yeah.
would this have worked? Would it not have
Right.
worked before? I would like, oh no, I need to be in. I need to be in. And then you paper cuts, paper cuts, paper cuts.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is a level that looks interesting. From my perspective, I'm actually looking at it on the cues.
Okay.
So we are
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
above the point of control. Let me just switch to my screen real quick.
Totally.
We are right above the point of control, and I had this $25,000 area as what I call the inflection point,
That's
um, which kind of lines up with VWAP at the same time. We're trading
yeah,
above it. We're seeing some slight rejection, but not too heavy, not too much pressure.
yeah.
So we might, it's entirely possible, sound like Joe Rogan, to
Pull that up, Jamie.
to see another move up, but we don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
We will see what happens there.
You know, you're mentioning that level on Qs, that 609.30, basically literally right where we're trading. Like you said, VWAP right above. That's also my daily trigger. It's a big, big level for me. We popped above it yesterday and then, oh, whoa, sorry guys. So just
Sorry,
this blue line right
sorry about
here.
that. I'll let you know when I put you.
No, you're good. I just
All
don't
right.
want to jump scare them. But people literally recoil when they see some of my messy charts, and I get it. I get it. I do understand. But just this blue line is just a pretty big major pivot. We'll go to a 15-minute to make it clearer. Oh God, that's worse. All right. So big pivot here. You can see that we tried to break over it.
Yep.
About on the fourth there, rejected multiple times, found sellers on this pre-market sell, very clear. Here again, we're trying to digest and find buyers over it. We are maintaining a flag this time, much better structure than up here, but still having like right here, we had this attempt to break out very strong, but it couldn't make a new high. Attempt to
Hmm.
break out very strong, but couldn't make a new high. And so now we're kind of, in my book, we're in this consolidation phase here where we're deciding. It does look better though. The moving averages on the 15 here at least are curling up. So we're trying to digest, but it's just a big level. So
It
when
is.
I have a question here. In terms of like on a CPI on a day to day, how does that affect you looking for like a potential bigger move? Do you think maybe it might need to wait till tomorrow, or do you think that maybe that kind of initial spike and drop kind of reset the tape enough for a faster move? I'm curious.
Well, right now, a few things to consider. First of all, we are trading at a very key psychological number, at least on the NQ. It's
Oh yeah.
25,000.
Hmm.
25,000 is a huge number, you
Yeah.
know. So taking that into account, taking into account the news that was basically a nothing burger, you know, it was neutral.
Yeah.
I think we have to continue and wait a couple of days, especially considering the backdrop of uncertainty and war going on
Yeah.
there. I think we are probably going to continue to, digest and continue this sideways action. So if I was to zoom out on on a daily chart, and let me put this cleanly. I don't know if you can see. Let me put my chart back on. 1 second. Still learning this live streaming thing.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
hard, man.
Wish I had an operator in the background.
It's like
Um,
trying to sing and play guitar at the same time or something.
True. That is true. And I used to do that, and it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Breaks your
Uh,
brain.
Indeed. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Thank you too. See you tomorrow. That's our Discord mod, Super Daniel. He's
Nice.
great. Stewart, cheers to you too. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks,
But
guys.
yeah, as I was saying, this whole area there is I think we're just gonna continue to digest the
Yep.
move, sorry, for at least the end of the week. I would
Mhm.
give it until next week for us to see something significant. Because if we look at the numbers that came out today, I have the news there. Core inflation forecast was 2.5%, came out 2.5.
Yep.
The inflation rate year over year 2.4, 2.4. I mean, everything is the same.
Yeah.
Month over month came out 0.2%, forecast was 0.2%.
I kind of
So
like the inline prints, it lets the market psychology kind of show itself, I think. You know.
yes, exactly. But so yeah, I think it's gonna be wait and see mode for a few days.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
We
Um, that weekly close, that's where my eyes are at for
Let's look
sure.
at let's look at the weeklies to see.
Because it could be a kind of tenuous weekly candle, to be honest, kind of sketchy, depending on where we close. Right now, it's not so bad, to be honest,
It
but
is not so bad. Yeah, that's true.
it's a wait and see for me. Like we're trading up into right now we're testing the 21 week EMA as well. on SPX at least. It should be the same, should be the
Mm,
same.
should be similar.
It's so hard because for Gex, I find SPX to be the best. But then sometimes I trade futures, sometimes I trade spots. I'm constantly, doing the calculations. I feel like I use half of my brain power on that
Yeah,
some weeks.
good thing you're not trading CFDs as well, because that
Oh
would just
goodness.
break your brain.
Well, that's why I don't trade forex because I'm like, dude, I can barely handle one set of data. Don't make me deal with a whole other economy too. That's so much harder. There's like twice as many potential like landmines that I have to watch out for at random times too.
Yep,
Like you're trading forex in the middle of the night, think you're safe. Well, that's cash session somewhere, you know.
that's true. That's true. I don't know. The forex market is so rangy, for in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't. Not good at trading ranges. I know these guys find great setups, but it's just not for me. And my brain would explode as just as you.
Would you consider
Um,
yourself a momentum trader?
I am a yes.
Okay.
So definitely a momentum trader. I love breakouts.
Yeah.
Um, so how do I explain this? The other day I was trying to see, okay, how do I know I'm gonna get this question. I'm gonna get this question a lot. It's like, what type of trader are you? Well, um, I could say, yeah, an intraday momentum trader. I I'm very discretionary.
Mhm.
Um, so how could I summarize
It's
this?
tough, right? Putting
It's
the I'll
tough.
say,
It's
but we
like,
wear a lot of hats.
yeah, we wear a lot of hats, and it varies depending on the environment we're in. But
Mhm.
ideally, okay, I am looking at levels of interest, combining that with chart patterns,
Mhm.
and looking at volume data to take momentum trades. Is that did I
That
botch this definition?
dude,
That's
you're speaking my language.
okay.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of viewers are gonna resonate with that for sure. I
Yeah,
love it.
that kind of sums up how I trade, I think.
No, that's great. So yeah, volume, key patterns, key levels, kind of looking for that confluence, and yeah, I think the core here is we're trading what we see, so it can be a little different each day, but
Definitely.
kind of like that's why I love this job. I mean, it's like all right, it's the coolest video game ever. First off,
Yes,
you
I'm
know,
glad you said video game. I was
yeah,
about to say that.
yeah. Anybody who's don't fool yourself. You are playing a video game. We have hyper financialized the economy so much that you can play a video game for your job.
Indeed.
That's where we're at. It just you know what? It's the same thing with a video game. If you can just play it all day long. You can play it all day long. But if you want to get really good, it's about focused practice. Like drilling the right things, because otherwise you're doing the bad things over and over. That's gonna hurt you.
That's true. And it's the one job where you could do everything right and you do
Mhm.
not get paid. You actually get
Yep.
unpaid, or you get subtracted. I don't know of any other job where they take pay away from you. Well, maybe athletes where they find them from time to time,
No.
but it's just not the same.
Well,
You
Dave, I'll,
know,
I'll take it one step further. How many jobs could you wake up as your job as a barista, go in and just crush that opening hour, just nail it, make
yep,
every latte perfect? Your boss says, dude, you're nailing it. Why don't you take the day off? I'll pay you for the full day. You're crushing
yep.
it. How many of you would say, I'm going to hang out and see what happens? The caveat here is your boss says, you're doing so well now, but if things start turning around, if you're not crushing it, I'm going to start docking
I'm
your
gonna
pay.
start docking your
You could
pay.
go,
There
you
you
could
go.
call an OSHA. You'd be like, what in tarnation? What's going on here? So just remember, if you get paid fast, you say thank you and you take
And
a
then
vacation.
you walk away.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
walk
And
away.
when is enough, right? That's a question us traders need to encounter a lot. And SPY is starting to look pretty good here.
It
SPX testing
is.
a key, or will be testing a key 68 level, and I'm just watching to see on this little like 3 day kind of chart the potential for a head and shoulders, or the potential to just rebase and push higher. So that's the
All
game we're
right.
playing. It is a higher low though from the Oh, it's just Tuesday sweep down. The Tuesday bottom of the flag.
Tuesday. Let me you mind
Tuesday
if I
morning.
pull up your screen
Oh,
real
absolutely,
quick?
yeah. No, feel
Okay.
feel free to just go for
No,
it. I'm
no,
just
I don't wanna, catch you off guard right now.
it's all right. So yeah, we just basically this is the bearish potentiality, but the more I look at it, I am seeing this higher low is pretty respectable. This double bottom pretty respectable, a good push off of it.
Yep.
I wonder if I was really, really watching as close as I probably should have been down there, if I would still be in my hedge. Probably not. It's at break even now. I'm going to just keep watching this kind of opening range.
We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
glad I got out of my short though.
Yeah.
So
Great.
that was
Great
a
call.
good call. And
Otherwise, it's the worst feeling to be like on camera, getting cooked in a trade and having to be personable and like have a witty anecdote too. It's like, come on, man. That's
nah,
tough. That's
it's
tough.
painful. It's painful.
But
No,
sometimes
that's
you just
why
gotta do it.
live, I don't mind, and I'll explain to the audience. I don't mind moving my stops. I don't mind moving break even. I know there's this whole preaching about no, don't move your stops and whatever. Dude, I'll move my stop to break even every day. I'll get stopped out and then I'll re-enter the trade. But at
Yeah.
least, I'll stay neutral or whatever. It's if I
Right.
don't have to take a loss, I won't take it.
Right, sure. Well, that's the beauty of being a short-term trader and trading without the huge size of an institution. We
Exactly.
can just chop up the range, hop in and out, just carve it up, get a little piece here, a little piece there, wherever it looks
Exactly.
like good eating, and that's what I'm
Eat.
all about. We used to say in my server, eat then yeet, get
There
your
you
move
go.
and then throw it away. Don't keep it on the radar, but you
Yeah.
don't need to be in it. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. It will set up again, you
Exactly,
know.
exactly. Opportunities will come.
Mhm.
Well, Steve, on that note, it's already 11 o'clock. So we're going to end the stream right there. I don't know if you have some last words for the audience, but for me, it has been a fun one. I'm looking forward to a lot more of these.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Absolutely. I love it. Just real quick, yeah, if you guys want to know where to find me, I'm on Twitter at Steve Tileman. That's SteveTilemann, two N's. And there I do have my Discord bio in my Twitter link, or my Discord server in my Twitter bio. There it is. So that's where I'm
all
at all
right.
the time. It's a free server. More than welcome to join anybody. Love to see you in there. Dave, thanks so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking
Awesome,
forward to it
awesome.
next week.
Definitely, definitely looking forward to it. And as I always say to everyone, I will see you soon in the markets. Take care, man.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.